Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
Well, I heard a sober lesson today. Didn't impact me personally, but it's just a painful loss that someone went through. So it's a franchisee and one of the systems in the area, and they had a couple studios. They were doing okay, actually. They were actually doing pretty fine. But it came down to they had 2 studios left, and things were going dandy. And one of the studios, they were doing great, like prime location, prime numbers. Things were going really smoothly. And the other location was struggling. It wasn't doing that great. But the mistake they made is they had one LLC own both studios. And so combined, they were not doing so great. But individually, they had one killer, amazing studio, and one studio that was not doing very well at all. And so as they were trying to unravel it, sell off the struggling studio or try to revitalize the other studio, that friend, from what I understand, I haven't talked to the franchisor, probably could never get a hold of the franchisor about it. I don't know if I'd join the system. That'd be interesting. Join the system just to get the scoop. But the franchisor wasn't making it easy to split off the 2 entities. They filed joint tax returns. They had the same LLC with 2 leases. Everything was all under one umbrella. And so when it came time that they had to fold one of the locations, they had to fold both. And so it's one thing to declare bankruptcy or shut down or sell one struggling business. That happens. That's hard, but it happens. But then if it impacts and takes down your profitable breadwinner studio or business or restaurant or dealership or location, when it takes down a fully good dealership, and it's just painful because you're doing everything right. Everything is running smoothly. One of the locations is just not doing very well, and now everything implodes. Man. So the biggest takeaway I have is run everything in distinct compartments. And so the team that I'm putting together on my side, is to totally have it separate. So the way we're going to be, the way we're going to be doing it, it's not proprietary. I don't think this is very knowledgeable, but we'll have a holding company or a top level company, and then we'll have different entities per location. So if we have real estate, there'll be a real estate LLC. If we have a studio, there's a real studio LLC. If we have a dealership, there's a dealership LLC. And everything reports up and down to holding company or holding companies, whatever that ends up looking like. But then that way, if the dealership ever has to shut down, or the repair shop ever has to fold, or you need to sell off the real estate portfolio, it doesn't trickle out and impact everything else. It's more headache, it's more administrative, it's more setup, but oh man. I just can't imagine doing everything right and then it all implodes because of a legal administrative structure. That bugs me. It's like if you're playing a game of cards and you're about to win, but you're holding the cards with the right hand and not the left hand, and so you lose the whole game. And so you spend your time playing the game, and you lose in a technicality because you're supposed to hold the cards with your left hand, not your right hand, or whatever. And it's not fair. It's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not how you should pick your winners and losers on who's... If you're what are you losing at business in life? That's not the right way to do it. And so it's reinforcing to me, pay for good legal advice, pay for good accounting advice, pay for good corporate strategy advice, pay for HR advice, pay for... It's crazy, but I can see why athletes and high up legal executive people pay to have a driver. Years ago, I heard like Adrian Peterson, like the Vikings running back who was like making fortune or like doing really great in life. I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that he paid to have someone drive him wherever he went because someone saw Adrian Peterson who makes a couple $1 million a year. There he is driving, and they go ahead and like they crash into Adrian Peterson's car and they say, "Oh, Adrian was drunk driving," and now like he has like, this big lawsuit and a defamation suit and like all this drama, and they just pay like $40,000 for it to go away. Have a driver on your behalf because no one's going to see Adrian Peterson in the passenger seat and then like an Uber driver and then the bodyguard is worth like $20,000. Like, no, I don't do that. And so I can see why it makes sense to pay lots of little fees and little expenses so that you're not accessible for frivolous lawsuits or dumb things that can cut you out where it didn't need to cap you out at the knees. Because that stuff just really irks me. And so it's a takeaway I have from the story, just by networking with some people and hearing how just something that you're not even cognizant of can really hit you out. So I'd be curious if I ever get into the system, what the other sides of the story is. And there's always two sides to every story, so you never really know what happened. But yeah. Segment, pay for experts, don't DIY, pay to do it right. Let's rock and roll.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.